We're at the beautiful Rambagh Palace and this segment is called Walk and Talk. So we have Beach Break firmly in our rear view and we have an important announcement to make because in the main event of that night we saw Jon Moxley teaming up with Pac and Rey Fenix to take on Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers, and that at the end of the match Kenta from New Japan Pro Wrestling appeared on AEW Dynamite. He went after Jon Moxley, the man he's supposed to challenge for the IWGP United States Championship. This is huge, people, because now we have this Marvel multiverse and it's crossing over. We've got AEW, we've got Impact Wrestling, now we've got New Japan Pro Wrestling. Three companies' storylines intertwining with each other. This is monumental. Kenta is here and the Bullet Club has reunited. And on the following week on AEW Dynamite, we saw Kenny Omega teaming up with Kenta to take on Lance Archer and Jon Moxley in a no disqualification match. And you were sure that the cleaner Kenny Omega had something up his sleeve and he had the Good Brothers to help him out. And Kenta and Kenny Omega picked up the win by pinning Jon Moxley. And now the storyline has gone even further because Kenny Omega has agreed to put his AEW World Heavyweight Championship on the line against Jon Moxley at Revolution in a Texas death match, which is just insane. So now you're caught up with what's been happening with the Elite. This has been the Walk and Talk segment and you can thank me later. And as the champ says, goodbye mwah, and good night. Bang! Well, first of all, the t-shirt doesn't lie. I am very stupid. But coming back to the Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley match, you know the build, and both of us are predicting that the cleaner Kenny Omega walks away as the World Heavyweight Champion. Not the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Sorry, not sorry, Jim Ross. And we move on to the next match, which is a big money match between Adam Hangman Page and big money Matt Hardy. So Matt Hardy's been completely owning this persona of his, which is called Big Money Matt, where it's all about the money. So basically what Matt Hardy is doing is recruiting talent and mentoring the likes of Private Party, TH2, and they've basically become heels because they're cheating in matches, they're winning at all costs necessary, by any means necessary, and they're just employing dirty tactics altogether. And Matt Hardy's made them edgier. He's even got Private Party a shot at the TNA tag team titles, so I mean, which they lost, but that's why he gets that 30% from all these people he's recruiting. And that's where the anxious millennial cowboy comes in, because Matt Hardy wants to go after the big fish, and that is Adam Hangman Page. Adam Hangman Page, on the other hand, has actually rejected another group, which was Dark Order, who tried to recruit him. But he said, we can still be friends, I don't want to be part of a group. Matt Hardy, sensing a vulnerable Adam Hangman Page, comes in, tries to get him drunk, and then puts a contract in front of him and says, why don't you sign that? And Adam Hangman Page is so drunk he signs it. But next week, Adam Hangman Page reveals to Matt Hardy that you tried to dupe me, but you didn't read the contract. The contract is actually for a match against Matt Hardy, and it's called the Big Money Match because if Adam Hangman Page wins, he gets Matt Hardy's first quarter earnings. But Matt Hardy turned it around and said Adam Hangman Page has to put his quarterly earnings on the line at Revolution, and Adam Hangman Page agreed. So now this is being dubbed as the Big Money Match, Matt Hardy and Adam Hangman Page. I personally think that Adam Hangman Page is going to win. I think Matt Hardy will win, but we all know one thing, that this match is all about the money. Alright, on to the next match, and that's for the AEW Tag Team titles, where the Young Bucks defend their championships against Chris Jericho and MJF. But before any of that, we have to tell you what's going on in the Inner Circle. So these guys formed a tag team amongst themselves where Sammy Guevara teamed up with Jake Hager, Chris Jericho teamed up with MJF, and obviously Proud and Powerful Santana and Ortiz are already a tag team.
and they went up against each other to decide who is going to be the leading tag team of the Inner Circle. And surprisingly, MJF and Chris Jericho won that match despite Proud and Powerful being the experienced tag team in this group. But that pissed everyone off, and especially Sammy Guevara, because Sammy Guevara has seen through the intentions of MJF. He's trying to manipulate the Inner Circle. He's trying to throw Sammy Guevara out of the Inner Circle, and Sammy's actually called him out on this bullshit. He's even asked for support from Chris Jericho and the rest of the members of Inner Circle, but they've kind of not noticed this. And now Sammy Guevara has been pushed over the edge, and he came out on Dynamite and announced that he's going to be quitting the Inner Circle, which has huge implications on his career and on Inner Circle. But we move on to more pressing matters, where Chris Jericho and MJF have become #1 contenders for the AEW tag team titles. And since we are talking about Chris Jericho, we have to bring one of our old segments back, which is the 49 seconds for the 18 to 49 demographic. Let's go. So there was a tag team elimination battle royal match where obviously Chris Jericho and MJF were a part of it, but even the Young Bucks were in the match, but they got eliminated fairly quickly. And Chris Jericho and MJF were left with Top Flight at the end, and Chris Jericho, the man who was at the end, ended up Judas affecting one of the Top Flight members and became the #1 contender for this match. And they've been trying to one-up the Young Bucks ever since then, but to no effect really. And just a few weeks ago, the Papa Buck, the father of the Young Bucks, was in the crowd, and he ended up pushing Chris Jericho, and that seemed to tick him off a lot. And the subsequent week, MJF and Chris Jericho took Papa Buck, the father of the Young Bucks, and beat the shit out of him. Well, left him in a pool of his own blood, and he had to be hospitalized. And they've actually now gone too far. They've crossed the line, and they've triggered the Young Bucks to a point where now it's going to be really personal, this rivalry, and it's just going to be fun to watch. I think my brother and I are clearly saying that the Young Bucks are going to retain their titles, but we have to see. Should be a good match at Revolution.
But that's not all. We still have the rest of the Revolution match card to go, beginning with the monumental return to the ring by Sting, who's teaming up with the TNT champion Darby Allin to take on Team Taz comprising of Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. And we both think that Sting and Darby Allin are going to win this street fight.
Yeah, and moving on to the casino ladder match. It's actually not a casino ladder match. It's just a ladder match to determine the #1 contender for the TNT championship. And there's Cody Rhodes, Lance Archer, Scorpio Sky, Penta El Zero Miedo, Max Caster and 10 are going to battle it out for a spot in this match, and the 6th person is to be announced. So it's going to be a very exciting ladder match to become the #1 contender for the TNT title, and I think Scorpio Sky is going to win this one.
And I think it's going to be Lance Archer.
And moving on to the women's title match, Hikaru Shida will be defending her title against one of two contestants who are Nyla Rose and Ryo Mizunami from Japan, Tokyo. We still think that Hikaru will come out on top with the women's title.
And another exciting match that was added to the card was a casino tag team battle royal to determine the #1 contenders for the AEW tag team championships. The whole AEW tag team roster is part of this, and there may be some Impact Wrestling teams joining. We don't know, but basis on the current information and the kind of wrestlers are there, I'm going to go with Dark Order for the win.
I'm going with Santana and Ortiz, Proud and Powerful, winning this one, or maybe FTR if they're in the match.
And finally, we have a very deep and personal rivalry coming to a head where Miedo and Kip Sabian take on Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor in a tag team match. And Miedo and Kip Sabian need to take revenge because Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor ruined Penelope Ford's and Kip Sabian's wedding. And that is why both of us are going for Miedo and Kip Sabian to get the win.
And that's it from us. There's not going to be any punishment from our side because usually we have these punishments for these predictions, but we think 2020 was a punishment in itself. So we're going to skip any of those for this one. But Revolution is going to be an exciting card. It's coming this Sunday. You can watch it on watchwrestling.in or on Fight TV. And we'll be back next week to review the action that comes out of Revolution. It's going to be really exciting and we can't wait.
Yeah, so give us your predictions in the comments below and we'll see you soon.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the subscribe button.
And to know everything about All Elite Wrestling, you know who to call. We're the last man standing, and we'll see you.